Following the repeal of Nigeria's Electoral Act 2022 and the enactment of the new Electoral Act 2026, we've now seen adjustments made to the statutory guidelines that govern pre-election and election matters. So what does that mean? It means that the Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria has reviewed and realigned the schedule to ensure full compliance with the new provisions of the Electoral Act. And what does that mean? It means now there is a calendar available that will guide and govern all the political parties as we head for the elections in 2027. Don't forget, in 2027, we'll be having presidential elections and elections into the National Assembly, that's Senate and House of Representatives. And we'll also be having governorship elections. On the same day, we'll be conducting elections into the state's houses of assembly. Now, let me take you through the calendar as proposed by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Already, we've seen many political parties holding their conventions and congresses as they elect the new executives that will guide the party through the next election. We saw the All Progressives Congress in Lagos State hold their congress here and returned all executives of the party in the state all returned unopposed. So that team will be the one to drive the governorship election in Lagos State in the APC in 2027. But other dates on the INEC calendar are as follows. April 22nd to May 21st of 2026. That will be submission of register of members. What does that mean? It means that all parties must submit a register of their members to the Independent National Electoral Commission. That is between April 22 and May 21 of 2026. So that's a whole month. Parties have to submit the real register of all their members. That's a very critical step in the electoral process. Following that, April 23 to May 30th of 2026, we expect to see party primaries hold across board. So all the parties in Lagos State, for instance, which we're focusing on, that intend to present a candidate for the governorship election in 2027 will have an opportunity to conduct their primaries and elect the eventual candidates of those parties. So party primaries will hold between April 23 and May 30th of 2026. Subsequently, nothing happens again until July 14th. Now, from July 14th to July 28th of 2026, that's a period of 14 days, 2 weeks. Those who are aspiring for positions will submit their nomination forms for presidential election and National Assembly election. So within the political parties, all those who want to be the presidential candidates and all those who want to go into the Senate or the House of Representatives will be able to submit their nomination forms. That's between July 14th and July 28th of 2026. Subsequently, candidates who want to participate in the governorship elections and elections into the state houses of assembly will have time to submit their own nomination forms between August 11th and August 25 of 2026. That's another period of 2 weeks. So a period of 2 weeks for submission of nomination forms for the office of presidency and National Assembly. That's July 14 to July 28th. Submission of nomination forms for offices of governors and houses of assembly. That's August 11 to August 25, 2026. Now, the Electoral Commission will subsequently publish personal particulars of all the candidates, what we call Form EC9. Now, Form EC9 is a form that lists all the personal particulars of candidates. That's date of birth, schools attended, degrees acquired, work experience, and all that kind of information. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission will publish that information to the public, and that will happen for the presidential election and elections into the National Assembly. That's into the Senate and House of Representatives. INEC will publish those particulars on August 4th, 2026. Now, on September 1st, 2026, INEC will publish the personal particulars, that's Form EC9, of candidates for the governorship elections and those for the state houses of assembly. Campaigns will start, according to the Independent National Electoral Commission, on August 19th, 2026. So we'll have the presidential campaigns and the campaigns for seats into the Senate and the House of Representatives. Those campaigns will commence on August 19th, 2026, while the governorship campaigns and campaigns for elections into the state houses of assembly will commence on September 9th, 2026. So August 19th for presidential and National Assembly campaigns, and September 9th, 2026 for governorship and state houses of assembly campaigns. Then we'll have the publication of the official voter register. The official voter register will be published on January 11, 2027. So January 11, 2027 will see the publication of the official voter register. And that's when voters will have a chance to go to their polling units, to their wards, to make sure that their names appear on the official voter register. You have enough time to make sure that you appear on the register. If your name isn't on the voter register, then you wouldn't be able to vote. January 21, 2027, will see a notice of poll publication. What that means is the Independent National Electoral Commission will now publish publicly a notice of election. It is called a notice of poll. That will be published on January 21, 2027. That announcement will intimate all Nigerians about all the necessary details on the forthcoming elections. December 22, 2026, we shall have the submission of polling agents. That is the polling agents who will be appointed by the political parties. Each political party will have, I think it's about 2 agents per polling unit, so that you have somebody that is monitoring the election on behalf of the political party. So submission of names of polling agents. For the federal elections, that submission will happen on December 22, 2026, and submission of polling agents for state elections will be on January 5, 2027. Now, finally, the presidential election and elections into the National Assembly, that's elections into the Senate and the House of Representatives, will hold on Saturday, the 16th day of January, 2027. Don't forget, the original date of that election was February 20th, 2027, but following the amendment to the Electoral Act and the enactment of the new Electoral Act 2026, INEC has realigned those dates, and the presidential election, together with the election into the Senate and House of Representatives, will hold on Saturday, the 16th day of January 2027. While the governorship elections and elections into the states' houses of assembly will hold on Saturday, the 6th day of February 2027. That election was pushed back. It was meant to be held on the 6th day of March 2027, but following, of course, the realignment of all the dates and the enactment of the new act, the new governorship election date and date for the elections into the state houses of assembly will now be on Saturday, the 6th day of February 2027. So those are the dates for the presidential and governorship elections in 2027. If those dates change, or if there's any change to any aspect of the itinerary, I will bring that information back to you. But for now, those are the dates that will govern the forthcoming elections here in Nigeria.